Hello and welcome to Art Club Live. I am Linda from OT Creative Space and I've got my little helper Bronte here today.
I'm Bronte!
And today we are going to be looking at how we can make some simple stars from items you have at home. So we've got some examples here that you can either hang outside or hang inside, and also doing a little shout out as well. So St John's Centre on St John's Road, Ayres Road, just down the road from us, they're looking for lots of stars to hang in their trees. So if you make a few today, then please take a few and drop them off at St John's Centre as well. They'd really appreciate that. So I'll run through the materials we need today. If you've got a few of them, that's great, and then we'll see what you can make. So first off, you will need some crisp packets, an iron, and some greaseproof paper. And scissors, exactly, and that will make a little star like this, and this can actually hang up outside as well.
You also need a hole punch.
And a hole punch. Star number 2, which is this little paper star, so this is an indoor star. For that you need scissors, glue, some kind of string or thread, or some plastic bags you can use, and then a selection of paper or card. Old envelopes, wrapping paper, Christmas cards, brown paper, anything, scraps of paper, leaflets that you find, that will do. Star number 3, Bronte, if you want to hang, so Bronte's just made this one earlier. This is using an old carton of juice, which I'm sure you have around the house.
We use orange juice.
That's it, so carton of juice, then you just need a hole punch and some plastic bags or thread that you can wrap it up together. And star number 4, which is this wonderful, you can make it as big as you like, and that is using some straight-ish twigs and then some plastic bag, or you could use ribbon or string if you wanted to. So we'll start off with our first crisp packet stars. So Bronte, if you are able to cut down one side and off the bottom as well, we'll make 2 here as an example. And once you've cut it down one side, open it out and you're going to flip it over. While Bronte's just doing that, I'm going to turn the iron on. So if you are a child, you need to have an adult to help you do this. So turn your iron on and put it not to the hottest heat, to a medium heat. If you do it too hot, the crisp packet will really shrivel up. So once you've got it open, if it's a little bit dirty, you want to just clean it off there as well. You could wash it out under a tap too, or wipe it. And then you're going to take your greaseproof paper. So greaseproof paper or baking paper, that's the thing. And simply, you fold it over and you put it between 2 sheets of greaseproof paper. Hold that down. I wonder, Bronte, if you can hold that end side for me. Just that side, because I don't want to get too close with an iron. And then you just gently iron it together, and you should see it beginning to crinkle up a little bit underneath. And that just means the 2 sides have sealed together.
It's satisfying.
So that's it. So just keep going for that for a little bit. Just make sure you go all around the edges. We'll have a little look, and there you go. You can see that it is joined together and it gives a lovely reflective look. So I'll just do Bronte's one there as well. Again, show you that again. So between 2 sheets of greaseproof paper, baking paper, stuff that you probably have in your kitchen drawer, just iron that there. and then it comes together. So once you've done that, Bronte, you can begin. You're going to draw a star onto that shiny crisp packet.
If you can, it would actually be quite good if you use a whiteboard pen, because once you've drawn the star and cut it out, you can actually wipe it off.
Yeah, that is a good little tip from Bronte. Use a whiteboard pen, but if not, you can either just freehand cut or you can use another pen. But you want to aim to make your star as big as possible. So we're just going, now you can do it all symmetrical, you can do it wonky, you can do it however you want. It doesn't need to look super perfect. We've got some examples here earlier, some even little stars there. There we go. So once you've drawn your star out, then you're just going to simply cut round it, and you will see as you cut that the two layers of crisp packet are sealed together. So you want to make it nice and big as possible, because that will make for the biggest star to hang up. And again, you can hang these ones, because they've got sealed, you can hang these ones up outside and they will nicely reflect when light's flashing them. So Bronte's going to cut her star out, I'm going to cut mine. So once you have cut your star out, if you get a hole punch, if you don't have a hole punch, a simple skewer or something, you just want to make a little hole in the top. Again, if you're a child, please get an adult to help make the hole with the skewer. But you just simply pop a little hole in, and then you can choose what you want to hang it up. So I've got a little bit of red ribbon here, but equally on the ones I've hung up over there, I've just used a strip of plastic bag. So plastic bags, if you've got them that you're no longer using, or there's holes in them or rips, don't throw them away, because you can use them to make yarn. Just check, yeah, I have turned the iron off, it's okay. And then you're just going to thread it through, tie a little knot, and another one to make that tight. And then you can choose either to keep it open and tie it onto something, or you can tie it up so it will loop onto things. There's Bronte's star looking great. And there you go, lovely star.
I think I just seen a dinosaur in mine.
I know, it's very reflective, it looks great, doesn't it? So we'll pop those ones to the side for now, and we'll move on to our next star to make. So we'll pop that in the bin. Right. Okay, so next we're going to have a go at making a paper star. So this is an indoor star, something you could hang it on your Christmas tree, or on your windows, or on your door handles, anything you like.
It looks superb on my Christmas tree.
Yeah. So have a little rummage, see what you can find. I like using the inside of envelopes. So where you just open up an envelope, and we're going to aim to cut 6 pieces of paper, all roughly the same size. So I'll tell you what, you use those scissors, Bronte, I'll use the bigger ones.
They're both yellow, but if it's clear to see.
That's fine, it's a good colour. So you're going to choose, you can even use an old back of Christmas card as well. Just cut that into roughly, and we're going to go for 6 squares. And use a bit of wrapping paper as well. We will. So have you cut one out too? So let's see how many we've got.
I've got 1 square.
Great. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll use another bit of brown paper to do our number 6. There we go. So once we've got 6 pieces of paper, you could do less, you could do as little as 3, you could do up to 8 if you wanted. Well, 100 might be quite hard, but the more you do, basically, the more different sides of the star there will be.
The more beautiful it is.
So once you've got your 6 bits together, we are going to fold them in half, because the trick of this star
is that it Symmetrical.
Symmetrical, that's right, that we want to make sure that it's symmetrical. So once you've got your star there, we're going to draw a star shape.
But only half of it.
Yeah, only half of it.
Because otherwise you would have many stars. That would work.
So we'll try and see if we can cut it. If it gets too difficult, you can just do a few at a time. So if you're using Christmas cards, that can actually, it's quite thick, so you might need to do it less at a time.
Like how stiff it was when I was trying to open this.
Great, so we put our paper over there, and then we have got our stars. So we'll lay them out. They should all be the same size. Now I've lost a little bit there, but don't worry, because we'll be able to fill it in.
Yeah.
So now you want to fold the design, so the coloured bit, you want to fold that in.
But this one doesn't.
And this is where you get your glue. So you're going to fold it in and glue just one side.
Okay.
And then you're going to just attach one side on and fold it over.
Okay, I've got one side.
So you've glued one side.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the different side. We'll just wait for that one. So we'll fold it again. So it works best if you're just folding it and then gluing that side.
Just make sure you don't get the wrong side.
And then it will all be stuck down in the end, so it's okay. Stick it on nicely, fold it over. And we've got, we'll do another brown one. There, brown paper, fold it over. We'll keep that one for the last one, because we'll do something just a little bit different for the last one. So, we just fold it over right at the end. Now for the last one, we're going to open it up a little bit. So Bronte's keeping well sanitised. And you can see your star shape, and this last one is going to go right on top of everything here. So we'll just grab a little bit of ribbon, because before we stick it together, we want to make sure that we can actually hang it up somewhere, wherever you choose. So then we're going to glue it all over both sides of this, glue it all over, and pop the ribbon on. So pop it on both sides. If you're using string, you can do that. If you're using a little loop of plastic bag, you can stick that on there too.
Yes, you can.
And then we stick it nicely down, and then you just begin to open up all the different layers of your, don't worry about glue, and if it looks a little bit rough around the edges, you can always give it a little trim with yours. But there is your hanging star.
Woo!
Is that good?
So multicolour.
Great. Okay, we're going to go quickly on to star number 3, and that is using a juice carton. So for this one again, just a reminder, you need to make sure it's washed out. You don't want any sticky juice in there. Washed out, and then you need a hole punch or a skewer and some plastic bags we will use to stitch it together. Bronte, do you want to show your example that you made just a little bit ago?
Here's what I made a bit earlier.
No, you can just hold it from there.
This is what I made a few minutes before we went on live.
That's it. So once I've got my carton, I'm going to flatten it so I can just chop off that top bit. So again, you might need a little bit of help from an adult if you are a child trying to do this. If you get stuck, do ask an adult, because you don't want to get yourself hurt by scissors. And we've cut that off, then we're just going to cut right down the bottom. Now these foil cartons are great because they are silver inside, which works well for making stars.
It's so got a bit of juice in it.
Oh gosh, don't worry. Let's just rip it open. We can just cut off the bottom bit there. Like that. Okay, now I've ripped mine a little bit there, so we might have to make a slightly smaller star. I'll take that off. If you can keep it all in one shape, that's better. But we will work with it. So then again, we're going to fold it in half because we want to make sure, that's it, both stars on either side are the same, because that way it will match up on both sides. So if you want, you can dry it off a little bit. I'll just use a little bit of brown paper to dry it off here. That's it. And we'll shove those bits in the bin under there. Then with your pen again, just mark out your star shape. Now it's a full star shape this time. Oh, it's not working too well because it's a little bit wet, but I'll be able to cut it out. But it's a full star shape, not a half one, because we want the full star shape on both sides. So you just then, you cut it out. And again, if you are using the full back of the carton, it might be a little bit bigger than this, but we'll go with this one for now. So just keep going with that star shape. You could do 6 points, you could do 5 points, whatever you prefer. You can even, if you're struggling to draw the shape, you can cut out, copy a shape, tracing paper a shape from online, a picture, photograph, something like that to get yourself a shape. So once you've got your two sides, and they should be pretty much the same, we don't want the inside where you can see the carton, we want the silver side to be showing. Get your hole punch, or if you're using a skewer, do that. And then we're just going to make a few holes. Make sure that they don't go to the edge, otherwise it won't work. You've got to make sure they're in, and see how many holes you can get, because this is a nice activity for you to do. It can be quite calming and relaxing. Even really quite young children can manage to stitch together these stars. So you just keep your holes going round. Yeah, Bronte managed to do that one by herself earlier. So keep those holes going through all the way round. And then the idea is that we are going to stitch them together. So you could use thread or ribbon, you could use string if you have string to sew them together, but I'm going to show you a way you can do it using a plastic bag. So in fact, let's use this plastic bag here. So if you hold on to that. So really simple way of using a plastic bag to make your string. If you did our webs with us a couple of months ago, you'll remember that we used plastic bags then.
It doesn't matter if your stars are uneven, just matters that it can actually be any shape you want.
Yeah, I mean it could have as many points as you want, but the more points you do, the more stitching you'll need to do. So for these ones, it's best to keep it 5 points. I mean, even you could do a 4-pointed star, could work quite well. So with my plastic bag, I've cut off the top and the bottom. So you should be able to put your hand through as a little loop. And then we're just going to cut some nice thin loops. So by just snipping. Don't do them too thick because we want them thin enough to go through when we do our stitching. And we're going to use these loops again when we do our next and final star using some twigs. Okay, let's just do the last few and then we'll have them ready for our next star as well. And again, you could just do strips of plastic, but I find if you double it up in a loop, it's much stronger. So we've got our loops here. And you're just going to pull them like that together. That's it, and that is your thread we are going to use. So if you take your star again, and you're just going to work, just be careful with plastic bags, you don't want them to go anywhere near your face really, or around your neck or anything like that, so do be careful when using plastic bags. So you're just going to tie it on first, because that's just going to help us know where it is. And then you're going to take your thread, your plastic bag thread, and begin to just thread it through. And we are going to do like a running stitch, which is basically when you go under, and then over like that. So I'm going to allow Bronte to carry on with this while I show you our next star. Okay, so you're happy to carry on with that?
Okay.
So our next star, and again this is where you can go really big if you want to. So we have got our big wooden star here. And you could choose, if you had it at home, you could wrap fairy lights around it as well if you wanted, or tinsel or anything like that. But we're just going to stick with a plain star for now. So what you want to do, make sure you've got your space cleared and choose 5 relatively straight and relatively the same size twigs. And we are just going to begin to set them out in the shape of a star. So it might take a little bit of working out to see how they'll go as a star shape. So just have a little play about with them. You might want to cut some in a slightly different shape. But we can see roughly, we're doing a 5-pointed star. Let's see if that one goes a little bit better like that. And like that, so you can see, and you've got your triangles and then your points in the middle and at the end. So with one of your loops, again, if you don't have plastic bags, you can use string if you have that, anything like that. So well done, Bronte, you keep going. With your loops, we're just going to begin to tie the points together. So first of all, just do one tie, and then we want to go over and round and tie again, and we just want to make sure that it gets really tight. So I'm just going to tie that knot again, and I wonder if we can just do one more, so you can wrap it round the twigs in lots of different ways, just so it's nice and tight. Now you could decide, I'm using a white bag, you could use a clear bag, you could use a yellow bag, whatever bag you have. Yep, you could do. So then you're going to go round and do all the points on the outside. So we'll try and do this quite quickly just to give you the idea. Don't worry if it falls out of shape a little bit, because we can make it go back into shape later on. It's all about just getting those bits tied together. So, and if you haven't got twigs now, maybe take a little walk later on, go to the park, see if you can find, or how many you can find, and maybe you might decide to go for some really big ones. But as long as they're roughly the same size and roughly straight, that works really well. Well done, Bronte. Can you keep going with that?
For now.
Okay. We can add another loop on. So I'll just show you this now, okay? Back on this star. Let's get another loop. So if you've run out of thread on that one, to just carry it on, all you need to do is pop your loop in and put it under and pull. And then there you've got it like that. So you just pop it in and under and pull it through, and you've got it, and then you can continue threading it. So we'll carry on with our 5 points on our star. There, we'll keep going, Bronte, with your that's it. So keep again, when you're wrapping it, wrap it either way round those twigs. Round them and round them like that. That's it. That's it. And even so, mine's broken a little bit, but I can just wrap it again and tie it up. And you can trim things off at the end as well. If it gets a bit too messy, you can just trim it up. Okay, so we'll do our last 2 points, and then you'll see that you just need to do a little bit more tying. So you can take a little bit more time over it when you are doing it. But we'll just tie again. So remember, when you're doing your loop, you're keeping it double, which makes it a bit stronger. There we go, just keep it tying it round, making sure it's nice and tight. One more.
What happened?
Oh, we might just need to sort it a little bit. And you may find that when you're threading things or feeding them through, that it just takes a little bit of practice to get used to doing it, but that's okay. Okay, so we've got one more point to do, and then I'll show you just what you need to do to finish it off. Okay, so we keep that star there. And now don't worry, because again you'll see that I've got little bits sticking out here and there. That's absolutely fine. We're aiming for, you know, quite a natural looking star here using the twigs. So we'll just keep popping that through. We'll keep it going. And there we go. Something funny. Great. Okay, so we've done our 5 points, but as you'll see, it moves a little bit like that, so we need to do something a little bit more to tie it together. So can you see the 5 different points in fact there? And we are going to again just tie something in. So Bronte, I just need it here. So as you can see from this one, there's a little twig there, so actually I'm going to use that to my advantage and tie it around that bit there. So again, you're just continuing using your loops, or if you're using string, just take little strips of string to do, and we just keep it tying round. Nice and tight, and you'll already begin to feel that it's firming up a little bit. And then really these stars can be quite robust. So I'll do one more and you get the idea of it, and then you can work on it more at home and in your leisure and see. And we would love to see the stars that you create. And as well, don't forget, St John's Centre are looking for stars this Christmas to decorate all their trees outside and in. So any stars that you have, do just take them down to St John's Centre, drop them off there, and then they will be added into the display. So, and if you do choose to hang a star up in your house, do send us a picture. We'd love to see what you've made and how you've done it, and maybe you've made a few variations on what we've suggested here. You might find an even better way of making your stars as well. There we go. Okay, so just to say, so you'd want to do the last 3 points, but we won't do that now. And then lastly, you want to choose the point that you're going to hang it from. So if it was this top bit here, again, if you're using a loop, that's handy because you've got a loop ready made. So you can just wrap that round, tie it on, and then you have got your star like that. And remember, yeah, tinsel, you could wrap tinsel around it, you could wrap fairy lights, anything like that. And have fun. We look forward to seeing your stars. And also, just to say, you may have noticed we've got a little angel behind us there. So in the next few weeks, look out for a little angel trail in the parks in Old Trafford too. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.
Stay creative!